What's going on, everyone? So, we saw in the Minnesota matchup, game one, Los Angeles Lakers overcompensate for the lack of interior size, right? Jackson Hayes just wasn't doing it. He wasn't providing much, wasn't rebounding, right? JJ just didn't go with him very long, which, I don't really blame him. I know some people think that he should have played more. I don't think Jackson Hayes is a starting center. That's just my opinion. I think he has to be just for circumstances because we don't have any other options. Alex Len is like unplayably bad, right? Like the guy is just, he's not the answer, right? So what happened was the Lakers essentially overcompensated for the lack of interior size. Trust that the Minnesota Timberwolves wouldn't shoot the lights out and beat us. And to Minnesota's credit, tip your hat to Minnesota, but to Minnesota's credit, they shot the lights out and beat us. I mean, they hit 21 of 42 threes. That's the definition of shooting the lights out. I mean, you could let them do a three-point contest before a game starts. They probably wouldn't hit 21 of 42 threes, right? So give them credit. They hit some shots. Beautiful. Great. All right, game two. But one of the things that I talked about, many of you talked about, many of you were expressing the same thing was, hey, we should look to bring in Trey Jemison. Right now, Trey Jameson isn't the answer. He's not like the savior. He's not the be-all, end-all. It's not like, well, that's it. Give the Lakers the chip now because Trey Jameson is on the roster. Right? It wasn't anything like that, but it was just like he's a big physical mountain that you're just not going to be able to move, that can bang with the big boys, be a 6-foul-a-game guy, give you some toughness, give you a good, hard playoff foul, nothing dirty, nothing crazy, just a good hard playoff foul, maybe pick up a tech, right? Like, be a Dwight Howard in the 2020 season, right? Obviously, he's not as good as Dwight Howard at that point. He's not Dwight Howard, but kind of the role, right? The kind of goon, right? He's there just boom, banning the big folks, pause, right? Picking up a flagrant, getting a tech, right? Clapping in players' faces, right? Like just being a menace out there. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that guy that's just, he's not afraid to get hit and hit back and stuff like that. The guy's 6'11", 270. The guy is a tank. We've watched that guy be a tank. And so I really wanted to see the Lakers bring him on. I know some people felt, hey, we should have brought in Christian Koloko. The reason I didn't like bringing in Christian Koloko is because what does Koloko bring that Jackson Hayes doesn't? I mean, both guys are like 220 pounds soaking wet. I'd rather bring in a guy that just gives you a different look from Jackson Hayes. Yes, you could argue Koloko's a better shot blocker, but again, I just think, Trey Jemison was the better answer, right? Because again, just gives you that big physical interior presence that can give you that physicality that you're looking for. And a guy that you could throw at a Rudy Gobert and just match up physicality-wise and size-wise. Now, is he a little clumsy? Is he a little awkward at times, especially his little like hook shot, which to his credit, he hits it, but it is a little like just watch some of his movements and the way that he like shoots, especially over the right shoulder, right? Like it's kind of like unorthodox a little bit, but he hits him, right? But I digress. Point is that, I really wanted to see the Lakers bring in Trey Jameson, and they did it. And for those that don't know and aren't aware, it's too late. Can't do it, right? Once the playoff roster is set, it's set. Can't make changes, can't do nothing about it, right? So the Lakers had a deadline to waive a guy, and then they could have waived Alex Len, brought in Trey Jameson, right? I know a lot of people really wanted the Lakers to waive Alex Len and thought it was a mistake. I don't blame the Lakers keeping Alex Len. I think the Lakers, and I even talked about this before, I think the Lakers almost had to. If you're going to waive anybody, you're probably going to have to waive somebody else. Probably not Alex Len, because Alex Len turned down a guaranteed job on a team that he probably would have played on, probably would have gotten some real minutes, right? And spurned that team, jeopardized him and himself to then go sign with the Lakers. And I understand it's like, hey, sucks to suck type thing, but it doesn't set a good example to other potential free agents in the future that are in that situation that may work out. This one didn't work out. Alex Len just isn't what we need. He didn't work out for the Lakers. It sucks. It's unfortunate, but there will be a time Markieff Morris, who is back on the Lakers. He is a great example of somebody that worked out, right? We very similar, signed him off a buyout, brought him in, and he was a big piece that helped us win an NBA championship, right? So again, there may be a time in the future, maybe next year, maybe several years, where that guy's there and they're going to be thinking, well, if it doesn't work out, they're just going to cut me and waive me. So why would I want to take the chance and the risk on the Lakers? Because if anything goes wrong, then I'm out of job. And then now I missed the deadline and now I don't get the opportunity to even just be on a roster or be in the playoffs or anything, right? Like Lakers, I think would have had to keep Alex Len regardless, but that doesn't mean you couldn't have brought in Trey Jemison. You still could have looked to bring in a Trey, had several, I mean, you could have even waived Shake Milton if you needed to, because he has 2 non-guaranteed years left on his deal, right? Or a Markieff Morris if you had to, or, you had options is my point, right? But fortunately, you don't have that. And my concern is I really hope this doesn't bite the Lakers. That doesn't bite the Lakers in the butt, right? Because we really, especially after game 1, really could have used his interior size, right? Look, Lakers are going to live and die by the small ball. That's just how it's going to go. Because the Lakers just, even with Trey Jameson probably wasn't playing heavy minutes regardless, right? Maybe he goes out there and plays, 10 to 15 minutes, right? But what you could have done with Trey Jameson is not have to overcompensate for your lack of interior size, which means Lakers could have done a better job of staying true to shooters and not just conceding wide open looks. I mean, literally wide. They gave up 27 wide open 3 attempts. 27. They took 42 attempts. 27 of them were wide open. All 42 were uncontested, right? Like, that's not good, right? So what Trey Jameson would do for this team, though, is just give you that big body that could box out a Rudy Gobert and also just match up physicality-wise and not just get bullied on the inside. Right? Same thing with a Naz Reid, whomever, right? He's a guy that's not going to get bullied on the interior, which now you can have the guys out there. You don't have to overcompensate on the inside. You don't have to overhelp. You don't have to, right? You can just kind of let Trey Jameson be on the inside, right? Again, he's not great. He's not the answer, but I think there may have been a version of that really worked well in the Lakers' favor, because now you just have that big mountain that is just there to just body the opposing team's players, right? Like, where right now you don't have that. You're looking to LeBron or Rui or Dorian Finney-Smith to be the guy to match up against a Rudy Gobert or something like that. Now, when Naz Reid is out there, they were still overcompensating and still, trying to overhelp, particularly on Anthony Edwards. And to Anthony Edwards' credit, he was just slicing and dicing us, right? He was just creating that dribble penetration, just kicking it out all over the place. I mean, he was killing us, right? Particularly with his playmaking. But with a guy like Trey Jameson, again, you don't have to send 3 or 4 guys now to help and just leave shooters open. Now you have Trey Jemison there, and who's a big body and is going to be somewhat of a deterrent, or at least, again, give a good hard foul, no easy buckets, the playoffs. And then, you could send just that guy or 2 to help if you wanted to. And then you still can rotate and get on shooters and, get back to help and close out and do all the things necessary in order to not have to, just give them 27 wide open threes. So I think it is, now look, there's also a version of this, before I get into kind of my closing thoughts, there is a version of this where Lakers do bring in Trey Jameson and he just doesn't play. He just sits and rides the pine like Alex Len. Very real possibility. There's a possibility where, we would have brought in Trey Jemison and JJ Redick, just, doesn't even go with that. Just kind of keeps sticking with what he's sticking with, right? Which very well could happen in game 2 and so on, right? My thing is just like, don't overcompensate and don't overhelp. If you don't do those things, then I think the Lakers are in better shape, right? But I digress. Point is, is I think that I think the Lakers had a missed opportunity not bringing in Trey Jemison, because I even talked about it's better to have a guy like him and not need it than need it and not have it. And there is a very realistic scenario right now that the Lakers are currently in where we might need that and we just don't have it. Right? Where it would have been nice to just kind of see. Now look, Lakers win game 2 and 3, then ship's right, all is back in order, Lakers are fine, right? But if Lakers end up losing game 2 or end up going down 3-1 or something like that, we might look back even more and just go like, man, Trey Jameson might have been great to kind of, allow the Lakers not to have to overcompensate, particularly on the defensive side. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle? How do you feel? Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. If you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.